Bulldogs are ready to play. Yeah, turn it up to 10. Hey, y'all join in. Come on, let the party begin. Let's do it again. Bob that head. Bob that head. Oh, every Saturday. Bob that head. Bob that head. SEC football.
Hey, y'all, we're Rascal Flat.
And it's time for some SEC football, baby.
On Raycom Sports.
Well, the turkeys have been cooked and hopefully eaten, and we hope that you have had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Oh, that still looks good. And they have taken some of those leftovers and moved them to the Grove here in Oxford, Mississippi, as it is game day on the Friday afternoon, where Houston Nutt leads his club into Vaught Hemingway Stadium on Senior Day to wrap up the 2008 regular season. It is a classic showdown, a Magnolia State showdown, the battle of the Golden Egg, the 105th meeting between Mississippi State and the 25th ranked Ole Miss Rebels. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Neal. So glad you can be with us on our All-Tail Game of the Week, our final regular season telecast of Southeastern Conference football right here on Raycom Sports, and we hope we can go out with an exceptional contest between these two teams. And what a difference a year makes. 12 months ago, we were standing in Starkville, Mississippi, and that man's club was deciding which bowl they were going to go to. Well, things have certainly gone the other way here in the 5th year under Sylvester Croom. Now his Bulldogs hope they can pull off the upset and keep this team and slow them down a little bit, if you will, as Houston Nutt in his first season has done a remarkable job as this Ole Miss football team will be heading to postseason play. Joining me, my partner Dave Archer. And Dave, what a job Houston Nutt has done. There's no denying that. One of the things he's done is brought in an exceptional wide-open offense, and the leader of that has to be Dexter McCluster. He's a little guy, but plays big.
Dynamic, explosive, dangerous, use whatever adjective you want for Dexter McCluster, but he has brought that to the offense, whether it's receiving or running with the football over 1,000 yards, but it's the Wild Rebel formation where he really makes all his hay, and last week he got one of his teammates involved with Marquis Summers off the reverse, got in the end zone against LSU. We're going to see the Wild Rebel a lot today.
And Dexter McCluster has stayed healthy. He only weighs 165 pounds. Now, on the other side, a guy that weighs about 240 will have to carry the load for this Mississippi State team. A guy, if you follow SEC football, you know quite well, Anthony Dixon.
Yeah, what comes to mind for you with Anthony Dixon? Complete back. He's a guy that'll pound you to the inside. He'll run the football and stretch it to the outside. The other thing he brings to the table is his ability to catch the football. Tremendous pass receiver out of the backfield. Last year, caught a touchdown pass in this game. Caught over 100 yards worth of receiving for this football team. He's a guy that can hurt you in a number of ways. He's a guy they'll have to feature today for Mississippi State to win the football game.
And he's coming off a career-high 179 yards on the ground. Let's take a look at our Toyota keys to the game.
Keys to the game for Mississippi State. You got to hold that line. That means you got to take care of the front line. This is the defensive front at Ole Miss that has 91 tackles for loss. Mississippi State's going to have to hold the line today. And for Ole Miss, close the deal. You're on the verge of going to a big bowl game. Finish the season. Close the deal up front.
SEC football is presented in high definition. We're available by Raycom Sports. There's a look at Anthony Dixon. He is ready to go. Mike Wallace, one of those back to return the kick for the Ole Miss Rebels. Mississippi State did win the toss. They deferred, so Ole Miss will get the football to open up this game. Brandon Bolden along with Mike Wallace back deep for the Rebels. A series that goes back to 1901. Ole Miss leads at 59-38 with 6 ties in the process. Carlson's kickoff down to the 10-yard line. That's where Brandon Bolden will take it. Bolden out over the 20 to the 24-yard line. And with that, the Ole Miss offense comes on the field where quarterback Jevin Sneed will lead the Rebels after leading them to a win in Baton Rouge. And for more on that, let's go down to the sidelines one more time to our man Dave Baker. Buzz.
Hey, thanks, Dave. And we're going to be watching Jevin Sneed especially closely here early on. Houston Nutt told us right before the game, and I don't think this was out a lot publicly, Sneed hurt his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder, in the second quarter at LSU. He's not thrown all week. He threw before the game, Arch, and it looks like he's got some range of motion issues.
Well, the first pass is right on the money. Shea Hodge will take it out over the 40, close to the 45-yard line. Good pass and catch. Pick up a 14 on the play. And let's take a look, Arch, at our Budweiser starting lineups.
Cordero Eason is the guy that's at running back. They'll have a number of players carry the football for them. Big play guy Mike Wallace out on the outside with big speed. And up front, a tremendously big offensive line. Michael Orr, the All-American up front, Outland Trophy Award finalist.
John Jerry's had a marvelous year at the other tackle as well. Kind of overshadowed a little bit, if you can be, at 350 pounds by Michael Orr. There's McCluster on the carry, close to midfield. They'll mark it closer to the 48-yard line. Let's go take a look at our Budweiser defensive lineups for the Bulldogs.
Tim Bailey getting a chance. He switched from linebacker last year, now on the defensive line. Does an outstanding job on the edge. Speed guy. Dominic Douglas slides inside. Jamar Chaney hurt early in the year. Douglas had to slide from outside to inside. And one of the best safeties in the country, Derek Pegues, 12 interceptions in his career.
On second down, Snead will throw again. Pass is caught by Hodge. First down at the Bulldog 42-yard line. Damon Glant brings him down. You're looking at Houston Nutt, whose offense averaging just shy of 30 points a game. That's fifth in the conference. Far cry from where they were the last few years.
Tremendous balance on this offense. They come in averaging 180 on the ground, 212 in the air. But they've been able to drive the long field, Dave. This is an offense that has 21 scoring drives of 70 yards or more.
First down and 10. Couple of tight ends in the game for Ole Miss. Handoff left side. Some running room inside the 40. That'll go to Eason, and Pegues will pick up credit for that tackle. But you talk about Jevin Snead, and we talked to Houston Nutt, Ken Austin as well. And you look at Cordero Eason's numbers, but both coaches were telling us perhaps the most complete game by Jevin Snead last week in Baton Rouge.
16 of 25, 274, and a couple touchdowns. They took care of the football extremely well, Dave, in a huge game on the road.
Now he'll split out wide. Here comes McCluster in motion. He will get the handoff. Dexter breaks a couple of tackles. He's got some room to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Ole Miss. 37 yards.
Well, right on cue for Dexter McCluster. This time he's the guy in motion. Bolden's going to hand him the football out of the Wild Rebel. And McCluster's great speed to the edge and down the sidelines. Nobody really got a hand on him. McCluster's ability to stretch the defense creates a major problem. And you got to love when you call it one time and you get in the end zone.
The 5th rushing touchdown of the year for Dexter McCluster. Here's Joshua Sheen for the point after. Joshua 41 out of 41 in that department. Houston Nutt all fired up about the way his offense has started today. Dexter McCluster, he has done it all throughout this season. He continues to rack up the points.
The All-Tel SEC Game of the Week is being brought to you by Regions Bank, by Budweiser, by Outback Steakhouse, by Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, by Hampton Hotel, by Cooper Tire, and by the new AT&T.
Just like that, we forget about Thanksgiving, move right into Christmas. But I like his attitude. Texas speed scoring drive. Archer, you hit on it. A number of lengthy scoring drives under Houston Nutt. Another one, 76 yards.
Yeah, that's the 22nd time they've gone for over 70 yards and a touchdown, and that's the 36th time that Dexter McCluster has run or caught the football for over 10 yards. He has been an explosive weapon for this offense.
Here's the kick from Justin Sparks. Derek Pegues takes it at about the 4-yard line. Fumbles the football out of bounds. It'll still be Bulldog football. Well, Arch, let's go back to the touchdown that went 37 yards.
Yeah, right here's Dexter McCluster. He's going to come in motion. and it just stretched the defense, and then it ends up being poor tackling. Good block by Cook right there, kind of a pest block, but now it's just McCluster outrunning all the Bulldogs to the sideline and down the sideline. Excellent effort by Dexter McCluster.
So here comes Mississippi State. Tyson Lee under center. This Bulldog offense averaging 16.6 points a game. That's 11th in the Southeastern Conference. Already behind the 8 ball here, and the handoff goes to Dixon. Gets maybe a yard. Brought down by Marcus Tillman. Take a look at our Budweiser starting lineups for this Bulldog offense.
Well, Brandon McCray has been a pleasant surprise. The transfer from Morehead State, 50 receptions on the year. He's been a big play guy on the outside. And Burgone up front. This is an offensive line that had to be patched together because they lost a number of players last year to graduation. And they've done a nice job of blocking for Anthony Dixon.
Coach Krim speaking very highly of J.C. Brignone and what he has accomplished this year. Just a sophomore. Trying to set up the screen, and Dixon can't handle it. Came a little hot.
Boy, big hit from Kentrell Lockett coming from the edge on Tyson Lee. Trying to throw a little screen there, and Lee took a big shot from Lockett coming off the edge. And he had a little bit too much on it there, Dave, for Anthony Dixon to be able to handle it. Give him a little pressure, and then Lockett with a big hit.
Let's go down to Dave Baker. Buzz?
Dave, he came right down on that throwing shoulder, and you saw the way it was hanging. He could hardly lift his right arm right now. Clean hit by Lockett, but a lot of punishment taken by Lee on that sack. We've now got a whistle, and maybe they're seeing it from the state sidelines. It's going to be interesting. They're taking a timeout now, and I think they want to see exactly what Lee can or can't do.
So Mississippi State takes a timeout. We will as well. Back in a moment after a word from your local stations. Of fans. Once again, our crew spends all pregame at the Grove. Not a bad place to be on a Friday this week. Look at Mississippi State looking at a 3rd down and 10th in the league in 3rd down conversions. 34.4%. Lee hit again, hammered as he got rid of the football. It goes to Aubrey Bell, but he'll be shy of the 1st down. Brought down by Dustin Mouzon.
Tremendous pressure from Walker, the linebacker, coming on the delay blitz. Walker, number 9, going to circle around on the blitz and hit Tyson Lee right down through the middle. Good job of the quarterback getting the ball off. But that's what they wanted. They wanted him to throw the ball underneath so they could rally up and make the play.
Blake McAdams averaging almost 39 yards per kick. Here's Marshae Green, makes the catch and hit on the spot at the 47-yard line by Jasper O'Quinn. A 31-yard punt, no return. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. Well, the 63rd Outland Trophy finalists have been named, and 2 of those happen to be from right here in the Southeastern Conference. One of those here at Ole Miss, Michael Orr decided to come back for his senior season. Would have been a high draft pick a year ago. Wanted to get a little bit better maybe in the run game, a little bit more physical, and I think he's accomplished that big time. Andre Smith of Alabama also in the mix, along with Oklahoma guard Duke Robinson. You know, March, this is only the 2nd time in the history of this award that there are 2 SEC finalists in the final 3 grouping. Good stuff.
I think Michael Orr did a great thing in coming back and polishing his game because he's improved in his draft status coming up this April tremendously. Remember, it was a talent-laden tackle crew that came out last year in the NFL draft. Michael Orr will be at the top of that list this year.
There is Michael Orr, and Ole Miss looks like they will tend to Jason Cook, the fullback, a senior out of Swanee, his final game as an Ole Miss Rebel. Had a chance to talk to him at length this week in our meetings, and talk about a guy who has really, really enjoyed his time here at Ole Miss, and this year has kind of been a reward for him.
One of those seniors playing their last game here at Ole Miss. Hope he can walk that off.
Threw a touchdown pass last week, as a matter of fact, Arch. And they said it's first completion since 8th grade. Never forget it. Well, we're mentioning the Outland finalist and one of those winners back in 1988. That man for Auburn, Tracy Rocker, one of the best that ever played defensive line, not only in this conference but in the country. He was a beast in his day. So on second down, a little razzle-dazzle. Here's Mike Wallace. Has a few blockers out in front. Picks up the first down and then some. Run out of bounds at the 33-yard line after a 16-yard pickup.
Mike Wallace just going to step up and then come back on the reverse, and he gets some good block. This is what makes Ole Miss so difficult to defend, is there's so much speed on the field at the skill position that they can stretch you sideline to sideline, and if they get the sideline, we saw in McCluster's run, they'll take it to the house. Mike Wallace, a big part of that.
Fresh set of downs for the Rebels. Driving again. Just a straight-ahead handoff. Pick up about 3 down to the 30-yard line to Eason. Dominic Douglas picks up his second tackle today. He now has 102 tackles this year.
Eason, number 25 right there. 2 rushing. He has 200-yard games on the year, but he's been a guy that you talk about McCluster and you talk about some of the receivers, and Eason kind of gets forgotten, but he's rushed for over 600 yards on the year.
This team third in the conference in rushing at 180 yards a game, averaging 4.6 yards per rush. 2 tight end sets. Snead will throw near side. Pass caught by Hodge. His third reception this afternoon. They'll spot it at the 25-yard line. Brought down by Marcus Washington.
Shea Hodge comes in 7 touchdowns on the year. He leads the team in that category with receiving touchdowns. Just a quick out and a good job of getting the ball out on time by Jevin Snead to Shea Hodge. Of course, Shea had the big catch against Florida late in the game that propelled Ole Miss to a win.
The 83-yard touchdown strike from Jevin Snead. Ooh, big hit. McCluster gets swallowed up by that Bulldog defense. Dominic Douglas along with Tim Bailey.
Excellent job, number 39, Tim Bailey, the defensive end, going to wrap him up around the legs. And then Dominic Douglas, the middle backer, comes in to help finish it off. We talked about Dominic Douglas, the middle backer, number 10. He had to play outside backer with Jamar Chaney's injury and slid inside and done a nice job.
Senior out of Clinton, Mississippi. That'll bring on Joshua Sheen, who has been great this year. 15 out of 17 in the field goal department. This from 42. The snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is even better. That's 3 for the Rebels. 10 quick points for Ole Miss. The 105th meeting between Ole Miss and Mississippi State will continue after this. There you go. You ask and you shall receive. It is the holiday season. But you got to put your name on there. How are we going to say hello? Texas Pete scoring drive. 6 plays, 27 yards. Joshua Sheen is having a remarkable season. 16 out of 18 for Ole Miss in the kicking department. That is phenomenal. And a bad kick by Justin Sparks, trying to squib it down, but he hooked it left out of bounds.
What's this? 6th time on the year he's kicked it out of bounds, Dave.
Well, Arch, get out your cell phone because it's time to play our weekly interactive feature called the Alltel Text of War. We want your answer to this question. Who will win the SEC championship game? Now, go ahead and vote. I'm not going to tell everybody who you voted for, but go ahead and get that vote in. How about that next week? Wow. But text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. We'll update the results later in the half. That's 55333. First down and 10, Bulldogs at the 40. Good field position. And once again, Lee gets hammered. That is 3 times he's gone back to pass. That time, Ashley Palmer just lit him up.
Well, they're bringing pressure. Tyrone Nix is bringing pressure. This time, Ashley Palmer, middle linebacker or outside linebacker, going to shoot through and get a blick on Tyson Lee right at the end of it.
There's Wesley Carroll, who got the nod early this year as the starter after playing pretty well as a freshman last year. He's ready to go if need be. But Tyson Lee out of Columbus, Mississippi. He grew up being a Bulldog fan. I mean, he has lived for this moment to start at quarterback in the Egg Bowl.
Outstanding day last week against Arkansas.
Quick drop, fires across, picked off. What a grab by Ashley Palmer.
Boy, what a tremendous athletic play by Ashley Palmer. We saw him on the blitz get the shot on the quarterback, and now Palmer, number 11, going to elevate and snatch it out of the air with one hand. Boy, what a big-time catch. On the outside, reading the quarterback's eyes, gets it with the left hand. What a great catch. Trying to get the ball to Aubrey Bell there.
His first interception, and one he will remember. That was a nice one-handed stab.
Well, he led this team in interceptions last year with 3, and he gets his first here, as you said.
A senior out of Compton, California, sets up his Ole Miss offense at the 45.5-yard line. Here's Snead, plenty of time to throw all day, going deep, looking for Hodge. Catches it in front of Derek Pegues. Down at the 24-yard line. First down, Ole Miss.
Dave, to throw the football this far down the field, you got to have great pass pro. We talked about this big-time offensive line. There's Orr battling against Bailey. But now the deep in route. When I say deep, this was in another county where he threw this one. Great job of Shea Hodge coming inside of Derek Pegues for the catch. Well, you don't see deep in route. You know, a deep in route is that 22-yard play. Boy, I'm telling you, this went down the field.
27-yard pickup. And Ole Miss knocking on the door again. Eason in at tailback. He'll get the handoff left side. Down to the 22-yard line. Swarmed by a handful of white jerseys. Excuse me, McCluster on the carry.
Now they're mixing McCluster and Cordera Eason in at tailback. McCluster 22, Eason 26. Easy to. Sometimes
Thank you for covering me. I appreciate that, partner.
Sometimes these jerseys get a little mixed up. But they're doing a nice job of running that ISO play, and that's really just to kind of keep Mississippi State honest up front to get to some of their gadget stuff.
Now Bolden in a tailback. Snead will throw. Pass caught on the far side. That'll pick up an Ole Miss first down. Marquise Summers brought down by Jasper O'Quinn. Take a look at our first Honda Red Zone, powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. And somewhere in there are the numbers from Ole Miss's last game, where they scored 2 touchdowns in 4 opportunities against LSU. Bolden will take the handoff, fake it to McCluster, keep it off tackle down to the 10. That'll bring up about a second down and 7.
It's a nice job by Mississippi State to stay at home in the middle. So often that reverse play is to get that linebacker to take one step to the outside with McCluster coming across, and then Bolden has a crease to the inside. But good job by Mississippi State to stay at home and take away the inside run.
So second down, Snead perfect this afternoon, 5 out of 5, 73 yards to this point. We'll throw it again. Now 6 out of 6, not much happening. That got back to the line of scrimmage. But for Shea Hodge, that's his 5th catch already this afternoon. Let's go check in with Dave Baker. Buzz?
Dave, when Houston Nutt talked to Dave Archer and I about Snead's shoulder, he said it brought up an interesting challenge for a play caller. And early on, you see Jevin Snead is 6 of 6, but except for that one ball over the middle where he had excellent protection, really short, manageable passes that really don't put a lot of strain on that shoulder, Arch.
Well, that's exactly right. And Dave, when you and I were talking to Houston Nutt as well this morning, he did a nice job of letting us know that, you know, Snead is one of those tough guys that's going to line up and play for you.
A lot like Buzz.
Yeah, that's it.
Here's Snead over the middle. It's Hodge again, dancing and scoring.
Another outstanding individual play. Shea Hodge is in the slot. He's going to come to the inside, and he's just going to make people miss. Zach Smith, the safety, 42, is going to come up. And another missed tackle in the secondary by Mississippi State. Charles Mitchell, the freshman, number 4, also part of that secondary group, was unable to get Shea Hodge on the ground.
Here's Sheen for the point after. It is good. And for Shea Hodge, his 8th touchdown reception that now takes over the lead in the league. And speaking of the league, we will return after these messages from the SEC. We'll talk about a good start. How about 17 points in the first quarter, 4:31 left to play in the opening stanza. Ole Miss to kick it off. Down to the 31-yard line, making the 32-yard line goes Arnell Stallworth. And the Bulldogs in a world of hurt. They have not been able to amass any offense while Ole Miss continues to have their way. That last Texas Pete scoring drive went 54 yards, just over 3 minutes. Snead on that drive, 4 out of 4 for 49 yards. And here comes Wesley Carroll in at quarterback. Wesley Carroll, the sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, has completed 51% of his passes for 534 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. First play, a handoff, goes to Anthony Dixon. That should be good enough for a first down. Well, we haven't had a chance to talk about the Ole Miss defense. Let's take a look at how they started today in our Budweiser lineup.
Parade Jerry is a beast in the middle. 13 tackles for loss coming in today's game. Ashley Palmer, we saw the athleticism on the interception, and then the secondary, Jamarcus Sanford, he leads his team, or he's second on his team in tackles at the safety spot.
Here goes Dixon again, trying to break a couple of tackles, can't do it. Brought down by Sanford, and just another big play already for this defense.
Well, they got after this offense physically, knocking the quarterback around, and then the athletic play by Ashley Palmer that set up the last drive for Ole Miss. Tremendous play there. They're playing at a really high level, and they've really stepped it up. They're Tyrone Nix, the defensive coordinator.
Four-man front by Ole Miss. Stallworth is the deep back. He'll get the handoff. And gets to the line of scrimmage and stopped right there. That'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up. This front 4 for Ole Miss. Guys like Lockett, Jerry, Scott, Laurent, Tillman. Now Greg Hardy's back in the mix. This is just a good, solid front 4.
Tough guys to block, Dave, which means more players have to get them blocked, which allows Tony Fine, Ashley Palmer, Walker to run through and make plays the linebacker spot. Their front 7 has played as well as anybody in the SEC this year.
Gerald Poe also getting in on the action. He's really increased his playing time as the season's unfolded. There's Greg Hardy, and speaking of Poe, he picks it off. The front 4 getting it done. Hardy caused it, and Poe picked it off.
Hey, we've seen a lot of good football players this year, but I don't know that we've seen a guy that's more unblockable than Greg Hardy, number 86. Hardy, a tremendous pass rusher, came into today with 18 career sacks in only 29 games. 30 tackles for loss. I mean, the guy just lives in your backfield.
There's Poe, all 340 pounds. I guess after Thanksgiving, he might be around 350. Showing us some good hands. And Ole Miss in business again, 1st and 10 at the 35. Here comes McCluster. He hands it off to Bolden. Not much doing there.
Well, this is a huge defensive set right here for the Mississippi State Bulldogs to try to keep this game from getting out of hand for them. Ole Miss has had their way so far here in the first quarter. It's because of their defense. And now Mississippi State's going to have to step up for Sylvester Croom and play defense right here. This is a defense that lived on the takeaway last year, scoring 7 touchdowns defensively. They just have not had that kind of success this year.
Enrique Davis, the true freshman, in at tailback. A play fake to him. Snead will then throw it to Enrique, who still drives his way down to the 20-yard line. That'll be a Rebel first down. Marcus Washington finally takes him to the turf. A gain of 17.
Enrique's just going to leak out of the backfield. He's a check down here for Jevin Snead. He didn't get what he wanted down the field. He drops it off to his back, and then Enrique finishes the run. Glen Haven, Florida, Enrique Davis.
Ole Miss is just having their way offensively today. I mean, is it a confidence thing with this club? I mean, does it build like that?
No question about it. It starts with their offensive line.
Creating a pretty sizable hole for Davis there.
You got a quarterback that takes care of the football. He gets it to the right people. They got tremendous skill guys on the edge, but their offensive line is a dominant offensive line. They're huge up front.
Here's a look at our red zone powered by Honda generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. You see Mississippi State defense this year giving up 20 touchdowns and 36 potential opportunities.
This is a team that beat the number 4 team in the country and lost to the number 1 team in the country by 4 points on their own field.
Snead to the corner of the end zone. Mike Wallace, touchdown, Rebels. 17 yards.
Mike Wallace on the fade route working against Damian Anderson, and this is just an outstanding throw to the back corner of the end zone to his big play, speedy wide receiver. And all of a sudden, Ole Miss thinking about a route.
21 touchdown passes this season for Jevin Snead. Sheen trying to add the point after. Man, oh man, did not see this coming. We haven't even played a full 15 minutes, and it's already 24-0. Mike Wallace picks up his 5th touchdown reception of the season. Just an excellent throw again by Snead.
Well, again, great pass protection. It's a quick 3-step drop, and Wallace just knows that ball where he needs to get to is the back pylon. And that's where the throw's going to be, and he beats Anderson to the back edge. Let's look at this play real quickly. Here he is right here. Just going to run the fade, get into him, and get to that back corner right there. He holds his feet. You see, he didn't just run to the corner right away. He held the defender's feet and then got to the corner. The timing was perfect.
Just about everything's been perfect for Ole Miss today. Well, all season long, Champion Apparel has showcased the tradition and history of the SEC. And today, we show you some of the great traditions around the conference, from the team walks around the Southeast to the fan passion that we see every single weekend. There's nothing like football in the Southeastern Conference. And we see it here in Oxford every time we come, a place where tailgating was made famous with the Grove right down the street from Vaughn Hemingway Stadium. That's our champion, How You Play. Ole Miss to kick it off. Down to the 10-yard line goes Wade Bonner. Wade gets hit at the 25 and dropped right there. Take a look at our Texas Speed scoring drive. 4 plays, 35 yards. There's Mike Wallace with that 17-yard touchdown reception. And Arch, here's a number since 2001 for this Ole Miss team. When they score 20 points, they're 39-20. When they score less than 20, they are just 6-29. And they've already put 24 up on the board today. Wesley Carroll's in charge of trying to get that number back.
He's got a tough assignment now. He worked from the gun here.
There's Dixon. Maybe a half a yard.
And the problem for Mississippi State now, Dave, is that they're a team that wants to run the football. They want to feature Anthony Dixon, and they want to pound you with the ground game. And now down 24-0. Woody McCorvey, offensive coordinator for Sylvester Croom, is going to have to shift gears a little bit. And he's going to have to throw it a little bit. He's going to have to put the ball in the air on first down.
And that will do it for the first 15 minutes of play. That was owned, completely owned by the team wearing the blue. Ole Miss with 192 yards of offense to Mississippi State's 24. The result is a 24-0 first quarter lead for the Rebels in the 105th edition of the Egg Bowl. The homestanding Ole Miss fans completely happy to this point. And of course, many of these Rebel fans hoping for a chance to play in the Cotton Bowl this year. What a turnaround from a year ago. Second quarter begins with Wesley Carroll. Pass batted away at the last moment by Cassius Vaughn. He was looking for Aubrey Bell. Let's go downstairs again. Buzz, what do you got?
Hey, Dave, you know, Mama said there'd be some days like this. Take a look at the end of this last touchdown pass. You know, great throw from Jevin Sneed. But keep your eye on number 26, Damian Anderson, the defensive back for Mississippi State. Watch this now. He almost gets it from the guys who are back there manning the cannon. I mean, he's in range. Here he goes. You see the guy on the trigger right. The guy said, hey, guy's still standing right there. I like that. I like our guys to have a quick trigger finger.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, sir.
Here's Carroll and the Ole Miss front four with a quick trigger finger today. Parade Jerry. All he does is make plays.
That's Parade Jerry's 5th sack on the year, Dave. And boy, the quarterback for Mississippi State has got to be on roller skates because nobody is protected for him up front. We've already seen Tyson Lee take some big shots, and now Parade Jerry puts one on Wesley Carroll.
Here's Blake McAdams, the senior out of Ripley, Tennessee, punting to Marshae Green, who stands close to midfield. Somebody might have got a piece of that. End over end wobbly kick that will bounce out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Mississippi State. 29-yard punt by McAdams. Light day of football on this Friday. Of course, rivalry weekend across the board. Look at our Woodman of the World scoreboard. Of course, later on today, LSU and Arkansas in their little regular season finale.
Yeah, that one played in War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas.
First down and 10 for Jevin Sneed in this offense. I think we're looking at a superstar in the making in Jevin Sneed. And handoff, not much happening there.
Number 25, Cordero Easton.
For our AT&T first quarter stats, and I mean those numbers pretty much tell you the story.
Yeah, -1 yard rushing for Mississippi State, and that is not what they were looking for, obviously, but that's their bread and butter. So to take their run game away from them really clips at the heart.
Be sure to get a behind-the-scenes look at some of your favorite teams and players at AT&TBlueRoom.com/sports. Out of the I formation on second down, and we'll say 11. Sneed will throw. Over the middle, picked off. Right into the hands of Carlin Brown. Brown to midfield and dropped at the Ole Miss 46-yard line. Finally, Mississippi State gets a break, and Sneed throws his 12th interception of the season.
And it's Carlin Brown's 2nd interception on the year at the linebacker spot, and this is really a poor decision. Never found the linebacker trying to stick the ball in the middle. Really no chance to get the ball to Lionel Bro. The back in the flats where Jevin Sneed should have thrown the football, but he forced it into coverage, and now the Bulldogs are set up in Ole Miss territory.
So Tyson Lee back in at quarterback. And as the Bulldogs trail by 24. Here's Dixon. Talk about a frustrating day. He's had one run and went for 11 yards. Other than that, he has been swarmed.
Number 98, Parade Jerry.
By the way, Sneed's interception snapped his streak. He was 9 out of 9 for 117 yards before that INT. Our 1st and 10 line brought to you by ICB Construction Management, located in Choctaw, Mississippi.
Well, offensive coordinator Woody McCorvey is going to have to do a little bit more now on first down. He's going to start moving his quarterback around. Ole Miss ganging up on the run on first down.
That pass is caught by Brandon McCray. McCray will get to the 40-yard line. That's a 51st catch of the season for the junior out of Chester, Virginia. See Woody McCorvey calling the plays for Mississippi State. Had a chance to talk to him linked this week. Saw him before the game today. He's looking great. A lot of rumors out there about him all season long and his health. And folks, anybody that's worried about Woody's health, don't be. He is fit and healthy.
Boy, he sure is. He looked like he wanted to play today.
Yes, he did. Dixon goes in motion. Here's Lee dancing around, trying to find somebody, and will keep it. Breaks a tackle. First down. They will mark him out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So Lee having to make it work himself.
Well, again, tremendous pressure from the Ole Miss Rebels, and Tyson Lee just shows some athleticism here. See Greg Hardy, 86, dives back to the inside and loses a little leverage on the quarterback. So Lee finds that hole and skates out and gets the first down.
So gain of 14. And a fresh set of downs for the Bulldogs. Dixon hit by Parade Jerry. That is 15 tackles for loss, second best in the conference this year for Big Parade.
Hey, if you talk about guys that are going to have a chance to play at the next level, this guy is going to get a chance to play for somebody. I mean, he has been in the backfield the entire year.
Arch, it was great talking yesterday to Tyrone Nix and Houston Nutt about Parade Jerry. You ask him a question about the secondary, and they go, well, it all starts with Parade Jerry up front. Well, how are your linebackers playing? Well, it all starts with Parade Jerry up front.
Well, you can see it. That's certainly been the case today.
Second down and 14. And flags and whistles. Let's see, Steve Shaw, we had him last week as well, back with us.
Before the snap, false start, number 55 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Clinton Salisbury, the right tackle, moved a little bit early, and maybe to the delight of Tyson Lee, because Ted Laurent was coming in untouched. Boy, it's been a nightmare so far for these Mississippi State quarterbacks. Now it's second and long. Woody McCorvey got to be looking to try to just get a piece of this back to give themselves an opportunity on third down.
Tyson Lee smothered as he lets the pass go. Looking for Brandon McCray down that far side, but Tyson Lee continues to get battered. That time Ashley Palmer was the first one there, and Tyson Lee has taken some shots today since his first snap on the field.
Well, Tyrone Nix has dialed up the pressure, and Ashley Palmer, number 11, going to come through untouched, and this is the second time Palmer has put a huge lick on Tyson Lee. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Arch, Dr. Rusty Litton, who's out there taking a look at it, diagnosed it earlier as a bruised shoulder. Only getting more bruised by the second, but you were talking about Woody McCorvey and what he can dial up offensively up there. Doesn't make any difference what he's dialing up offensively right now. If this Mississippi State offensive line can't at least get some standoffs at the line of scrimmage, much less some positive yardage, you're just going to keep seeing quarterbacks come in and out like that today.
Well, the key to play calling in this situation, being down, is you're going to have to be willing to throw the football a little bit more on first down, which is a little out of their character, to try to keep Ole Miss out of these blitz opportunities, because when you get in third and long, Tyrone Nix is bringing it.
So Wesley Carroll back on the field, his second appearance today, as you see our Academy Sports down and distance marker telling you it's 3rd and 19. You're almost in two-down territory here, 35-yard line. And Carroll chased down from behind by Jonathan Cornell. Incomplete pass, and a flag comes out. That is right where the tackle was made, and it was right in front of Steve Shaw. Cornell.
Intentional grounding, number 13 on the offense. That'll be a loss of down in spot of the foul, 4th down.
Well, he was outside the tackle box, and that ball must not got past the line of scrimmage.
Well, here's Jonathan Cornell right here. Now he's just going to come around the edge, and they don't account for him. They don't step down and take care of him as he splits around the edge. He showed blitz through with that A-B gap between the guard center or guard tackle, and then looped around to the outside. And a poor job by Sherrod and Gate it out and getting blocked.
Well, the ball didn't get past the line of scrimmage, so thus the flag came out. Marche Green takes the punt, makes a few people miss, and finally slammed to the ground after a return of just 4. We will step aside. It's been all Rebels, 24-0. 10-11 to go here in the second quarter.
My Circle. With unlimited calling, 25, 10, or 20 numbers, it's the perfect gift for the whole family. And now get the latest touchscreen phone, the Dell, from Alltel.
Series dates back to 1901. Ole Miss leading in the 105th meeting, 24-0. A couple of tight ends for the Rebels on a first down and 10. Here's Eason trying to work the left side. Nothing happening there. Brought down first of all by Carlin Brown. Jevin Sneed has had one bad pass. Other than that, he has been outright dead-on perfect.
That's a perfect example.
Well, and Dave, you're talking about a guy that didn't practice all week long. You heard Dave Baker talk about the shoulder, and they weren't sure how well he was going to be able to throw it. Well, this just in, not bad.
9 out of 10, 117 yards and 2 touchdowns. And, of course, his only incompletion was actually completed, but to the wrong team. There's his first true incompletion, a little bit short, looking for Mike Wallace. But, Arch, what do you like about Jevin Sneed in terms of a quarterback? We've watched him kind of grow up this year. What's going to make him a star next season?
I think the first thing that sticks out to me is no matter if he makes a bad play or not, it doesn't get him down. I think as a quarterback, especially a young quarterback, when you make a mistake, you have a tendency to pull back a little bit. Maybe not be willing to squeeze the trigger and get out there and perform like you were at the beginning. He never pulls back. He continues to compete. And I think that's the number one thing is he never loses his poise.
And he's just a sophomore, redshirted last year after transferring from Texas. Steps up in the pocket, eyes downfield, has all day to run. He'll pick up the first down and get out of bounds at the 37-yard line by Dominique Douglas, who runs him out of bounds, a gain of 13. And that's the added bonus you get with Sneed is he sometimes kind of sneaks by you with his feet.
Well, David, this is an indication of what you were just talking about, him growing up. This is maturity. Now, he had 3 receivers down the field. He could have pulled up and tried to gun one down the field there, but he realized, hey, I can extend a drive here with my legs. He gets the first down, and now they line up again with a fresh set of downs.
So 1st and 10. Wallace goes in motion, and he will get the football. And a big-time crackback block allows Wallace to pick up the first down.
Yeah, you mentioned the block, Dave. Shea Hodge gets the block on Derek Pegues. He's a great job of coming back to the inside and pinning McGee's to give Wallace a chance. Now you're going to see the block on the right-hand part of your screen. You'll see Pegues right there on the ground. Shea Hodge does a nice job staying up, making it a legal block, and getting Wallace up the field.
Enrique Davis in at tailback. He'll get the handoff right side. Flipped up in the air at midfield.
Number 27, Enrique Davis, is the ball carrier for the Rebels.
And it looks as though Derek Pegues is bouncing around like he might have hurt a left.
34 from Mississippi State, KJ Wright.
A left knee. He came out of that pile and immediately was hopping around for about 5 yards before he fell to the turf. A senior from just down the road in Batesville, Mississippi.
35 career starts here. He's trying to take on a little hyperextension of the left knee right there, trying to take on the block of the big fella coming around the edge, Maurice Miller, and just hyperextends the knee, trying to stand in there. Oh, there's the little roll up at the end as well. He had his own player roll him up. KJ Wright, the linebacker, rolled up that left leg.
I was talking to Mike Nemeth before the game today, the longtime sports information director over there at Mississippi State, and we were both just talking about Derek Pegues and how he's just grown as a football player, and we certainly hope he's okay. We will come back after a word from your local stations. That was the room of Dave Archer. That's what he had in the room last night after turkey dinner. Good job. Here's McCluster. Speaking of good jobs, the young man continues to excel whether he's receiving, running the option, or running the football.
Yeah, Dave, we came in and we talked about looking at this offense and what is it that they've done so well. Well, they've done a lot of things, and it's getting the ball to Dexter McCluster has been the key. Look at the blocking down the field. You can't make these plays throwing the little screens without the blocking down the field. This offense, I looked at the numbers. 34 passes coming in today that were 20 yards plus. 50 runs of 10 yards plus. It's just explosive offense, and a lot of that is Dexter McCluster.
McCluster in the backfield with Snead. He'll get the little swing pass, and then he'll throw it. Lofts it up in the air, looking for Hodge, who gets bumped out of bounds. Jasper O'Quinn on the coverage.
Well, that one's a little hard to explain there. Shea Hodge is the wide receiver. McCluster going to take the lateral. Just takes the lateral. Now he's going to gun it. Now he's 0 for 4 with 2 picks, and he pays for this throw. And it's a wobbly one, but Shea Hodge just got kind of blocked out of bounds.
With the ball in the air, Hodge got shoved out of bounds. I mean, we were looking right at it.
I think they're trying to help McCluster on his passer rating. His passer rating a little low.
Here's Eason, takes it down to the 31-yard line. Let's go downstairs. Injury update time with Dave Baker. Bus.
Dave, first of all, Derek McGee's over on the Mississippi State bench, ice on his left knee. Dr. Rusty Litton says right now they believe it to be a sprain of that left knee. They're going to ice it and see what happens, try to get back. And Tyson Lee, if he wasn't getting hammered enough on that right shoulder, he also wears braces. And he took a hit where the braces went through the old bite guard, and he was bleeding, and they had to get him fixed up.
That does not sound very pleasant. Here's Snead. Stands in the pocket all day to throw. Pass incomplete. And McCluster got hammered. Jasper O'Quinn and Zach Smith came in there. Zach Smith, I think, laid the wood to him down around the 6.
Yes, he did. 3-man route. McCluster 22 going right down through the middle. Outstanding protection. Allows Snead to hold on to the football, but well covered down the field by Mississippi State.
So here comes Joshua Sheen on to attempt this field goal. It will be a 49-yarder. Trying for a new career long off the upright.
50-yard field goal attempt is no good.
So Joshua Sheen misses for just the 3rd time this year. He is now 17 out of 20. But the Rebels still lead at 24-0. Back in a moment.
That's what we're made of. No preservatives, no fillers, no no-nos. The only thing in our beef is beef. Sink your teeth into that. That's what we're made of.
$24-0 Ole Miss out in front. How about the Rebels ranked 25th in the country? First time they've been ranked since 2003. Mississippi State will have it 1st down and 10. Wesley Carroll in at quarterback. Handoff dropped on the turf, but Dixon calmly picks it up. A loss of about 4 on the play, but Mississippi State going backwards.
Now this is a draw play, and this is on the quarterback. The quarterback's responsible for the mesh point. Wesley Carroll bluffs past too long. He's got to get his head rotated around and get that ball seated in the running back's stomach there. That's on the quarterback on that play action play.
On 2nd down, quick throw to Dixon, who's met at the 30 and dropped right there. They'll spot his forward progress to the 31, and it looks as though another Bulldog player is injured on this play, and Wesley Carroll bouncing around like there is some serious issues going on with Brandon McCray.
Brandon McCray, the outstanding transfer receiver. It's had a great year. And he's got a lower leg injury. The number 6 coming across, dragging across the middle, is going to shut it down, and the throw is to Dixon underneath. He's going to shut it down right there. And just the turf grabbed his right foot. Oh, and a lower leg injury. Looks like maybe a break there in the lower leg. Well, he's had a great year this year, too. You hate to see that to anybody.
That is just awful is the only thing that just comes to mind. Let's go downstairs to Dave Baker.
You know, the thing about it, guys, is Brandon McCray came to Mississippi State. He was a transfer from Morehead State. And, you know, they really didn't know what they were getting with him. But they saw immediately that he had an awful lot of talent. When we were talking to Sylvester Croom the other day, he talked about the time that he's the kind of player that really tries to fine-tune the craft of playing wide receiver. He blocks, he works on running routes, he walked on his own and has really turned into a big-time player for him. And you just hate to see this happen to anybody, but especially a young man that has worked as hard as Brandon McCray has to get to the point that he's gotten to.
That is just awful. Awful for everybody involved, and we hope that young man can certainly recover from this just nasty injury. We'll step aside for a moment and return after this from the SEC. Back in Oxford, Mississippi at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium, where Ole Miss leads at 24-0 over the Mississippi State Bulldogs, and they continue to work on Brandon McCray. 51 catches on the year. 4th in the league in receptions, averaging 4.5 per game.
Yeah, came in, had 5 receptions, 63 yards against the Razorbacks last week. Had a 10 reception, 102-yard game against Georgia Tech in week 4. And a guy that just burst on the scene. You heard Dave Baker talk about they weren't sure what they were going to get when he got in from Morehead State, but he has been their go-to receiver.
You see Sylvester Croom on a knee with his young man. And both teams have stepped to the sidelines and said a little prayer and hope that, you know, this is a heated rivalry, but these kind of things just are devastating for both teams. You know, I mean, it's just it's one of those things you can't ignore it. It's a contact sport. Things happen, but man, it's just nasty.
Well, and it's one that happens is his foot goes into the ground. The turf, this artificial turf, grabbed the shoe and created the problem in the lower leg there. And that's the ongoing debate now with the turfs and everything that goes on with how can you be the most careful with these great athletes and take care of them from a health standpoint.
You know, this turf, by the way, put in a few years back, and they had some fungus grow on the grass out here. And I forget exactly what year it was, around 2002, maybe 2003, something around there. And they decided to go with the turf, and they were coming out with that new synthetic grass was a hot topic. Players seem to like it a little bit spongy, soft, not like the old stuff that used to be like the Superdome. Always reminds me of one where it's like concrete.
Well, what happens with this stuff is you actually are wearing your cleats. All the players are wearing actual cleats on this stuff. It used to be that you wore a turf shoe that had a little bit of a nub on the bottom of it and prevented some of these kind of injuries. But with this turf and this grass, it just reaches down and grabs, and that makes it really difficult on the lower half, especially when you plant with all your weight like that. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
You know, Arch, you've obviously been involved in the game as the levels that you've played on. Players, coaches, they're really hesitant to say anything about this, but this is just the latest in what has been a series of really bad injuries for this Mississippi State football team this year. And, you know, people talk about what's going on with the program, the direction they're going, but the people that follow it and that have been through this ride with Sylvester Croom understand exactly what's going on. We had a chance to talk with Athletics Director Craig Byrne before the game. I mean, people do not want to hear about it because, you know, they don't want to sound like they're making excuses. But, I mean, honest to goodness, I mean, they have had some severe injuries. And in this league, you know that the margin for error is so small anyway. And then when you bring injury into the mix, that margin for error gets even smaller. And that's just an unfortunate part of the game. That's why recruiting is so important. That's why in this league especially, when a coach says, no matter how much or how little you've played, you've got to be ready to go on the next play because, you could be called upon the next play for a long time. And so that's something that Sylvester Croom has been dealing with. Yeah, it's the 5th year, but as he told us the other day, Dave Neal, it's really only the 3rd year in terms of recruiting, because when they were dealing with the probation and some other irregularities, that happened before they got there, they really couldn't attract the big-name player. But he feels good about where they are. It is just a tough deal that they've gone through this year, and it's gotten even tougher, not only because of the way Ole Miss has played outstanding football today, but because of incidents like this. McCray, you've got Pegues over there. Both their quarterbacks have taken shots today. It's just tough.
And as we said, it's just part of the game. And
well, Dave, you see Sylvester talking to his team, and what he's trying to do right there is he's trying to say, all right, we've still got a football game to play. We know one of our guys is down. Let's play this game for him. I've been in those kind of huddles where the coach tries to rally the team. And Sylvester, if anybody doubts how well Sylvester's done in his tenure at Ole Miss or at Mississippi State, is just not watching. The kids that he's bringing in, the success they're having, this guy is doing it the right way. His process is the right way.
Well, we certainly send out our best to Brandon McCray and his entire family, and wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. I know he'll get the finest medical attention available. So it's back to football, as tough as it may be, with 5:53 and counting on the clock before halftime. Wesley Carroll works out of the shotgun and drops the football. And that'll bring out the Bulldog punt team. I got to tell you, watching Wesley Carroll jump up and down, when he saw the injury to McCray and his reaction, I didn't think anything positive was going to happen on that snap.
You're exactly right, Dave, and I think that's a direct relationship to what happened on the field. Wesley Carroll was the first guy over there to see McCray on the ground, and Sylvester tried to address it with his team, but the focus just wasn't there.
Nice snap. Mike Adams gets the punt off. Green will field it at the 38-yard line. And Marche gets it into Bulldog territory at the 45-yard line, brought down by K.J. Wright. Well, it's time for us to update our All-Tel Text of War poll. We're asking you this question. Who will win the SEC title game? I tell you, we knew this would be close. I can't wait to the end to find out how many people have been voting on this one, but I bet we might set a record for this one. You can continue to vote. Text your answer to S1 or S2 to 55333. That's 55333. Thanks for participating all year in our All-Tel Text of War. Little toss sweep. Here's McCluster. Oh, man, was he walloped at the 45 by Carlin Brown. McCluster only goes 165 pounds, so when he gets airborne, it's like a piece of paper to some of these linebackers.
Well, and here's a linebacker at 5'9", 200 pounds, so he's not a big package either. But he lowered the boom on that one. Carlin Brown already has an interception on the day.
Wow. For McCluster, a big day on the ground, 59 yards already. Here's Mike Wallace in motion. Eason now with the handoff. He gets down to the 42-yard line. Defensive charge led by Cortez McCraney. Take a look at our Woodman scoreboard.
On the tackle, number 97, Jimmy Holmes. Number 34, K.J. Wright.
Clock moves close to 4 minutes to go. Here in the second quarter. It was an offensive assault in the first quarter for Houston Nutt's club.
Yeah, and Mississippi State has settled down defensively a little bit, Dave, and taken away the explosive play on the outside. We're going to go the three-man line here and try to dial up some pressure.
On 3rd down and 7. Boy, a bunch of white jerseys on the way, and they get Snead. They drop him back at the 48-yard line.
A little bit different look up front. Came with a three-man line, and now they're going to bring the linebackers in behind it. Got to sort it out. Dominic Douglas is around the waist, and then Cortez McCraney gets the sack, but Douglas and KJ Wright, the linebackers, force Jevin Snead up in the pocket to McCraney.
Back to return the punt is Delmon Robinson. Boy, Rob Park just shanks it out of bounds. I'll see where that was spotted. And they will spot it at the 35-yard line. So Mississippi State will come back on the field, bring their offense with 3 minutes to play before halftime after that 13-yard punt. Let's go downstairs to Dave Baker again. Buzz, what's going on?
Well, the latest on McCray's injury, he's got a broken right tibia. That's the big bone in the right leg. They're going to take him to the hospital here locally, stabilize him, and then they'll take him back to Columbus, where surgery will be required. But the big concern right now, and Dr. Rusty Litton and that whole staff, they're on top of it, Dave. But if you remember, when an injury like this happened, Alabama's Tyrone Prothro a few years ago, the biggest problem became the infection. So they're going to deal with that, get him stabilized, get the pain managed a little bit, and then go into surgery. And hopefully, after a period of rehab, he'll be able to resume what was looking like a promising career.
All right, Buzz, thank you for that information. Second down and 10 now for Wesley Carroll and company. Dyson Lee took a few devastating shots in his short stint as a starter today on the bench. Here's Dixon. Big run out near midfield will pick up the first down. Give him 14 on that carry. Kentrell Lockett finally brings him down.
That's the first time Mississippi State has been able to get some running room on the inside. The big fella coming right at you. Anthony Dixon going to make some defenders miss. Ran through some tackles and got a nice pickup and a first down for Mississippi State as they close in near midfield.
Dixon coming off his career high in terms of rushing yards last week against Arkansas. He went for 179 yards. Also had 5 catches against the Hogs. Carroll flushed out of the pocket and dropped by Lockett. Back at the 40-yard line. A loss of almost 10.
So back to the 39-yard line.
Well, as much as Lockett has been in the backfield, 9 tackles for loss. Only 1 sack or a half a sack on the year for Lockett. That's his first full sack on the year.
Mississippi State will call a timeout. Well, don't forget, anytime you're traveling around the Southeastern Conference, be sure to click on to raycomsports.com and find the Regions Bank Road Trip Planner for the quickest routes and all the info you need traveling around the Southeastern Conference. Now, this is our last game on Raycom Sports, but we will definitely put together a nice little 1-hour look at the SEC title game. Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. It'll be our Outback SEC championship game from the fanfare at the World Congress Center. And what an environment it should be next Saturday with the Georgia Dome. You and I will be there, part of the SEC radio broadcast. Here's Carroll, quick throw to the outside, incomplete. That'll stop the clock with 1:46 to go.
Well,
Audrey Bell.
These Mississippi State quarterbacks are just having a tough time now setting their feet because Ole Miss is teeing off on the edge and getting pressure on Wesley Carroll now. Tyson Lee prior, but Wesley Carroll now. And they just do not have a chance to set their feet. Another weak throw to the outside, just kind of an arm throw. There's Tyson Lee, the young man that was banged around in the first quarter.
So 3rd down and 20. They'll roll Carroll out. He'll stop, pivot, fire passes into the hands of Aubrey Bell, but then dropped. It would have been a tough catch around midfield, but it's incomplete. Now to bring up 4th down with 1:40 to play Cassius Vaughn on the coverage.
And Woody McCorvey trying to change the location of his quarterback to slow the rush down. But again, Ole Miss does a nice job of pulling the quarterback up with their pressure and tried to get the ball to Bell, but Bell couldn't hold on.
So McAdams, who is the SEC career leader in career punts, 285 now, will send another one down the field. This time Marche Green stays on his feet, dancing around and trying to get by a lot of white jerseys, but it will not happen. Ends up losing about a yard or two. A 38-yard punt. Well, Rascal Flatts, Bob That Head from the album Still Feels Good has kicked off our broadcast every Saturday this fall. And coming up next Wednesday, December 3rd, the guys will be appearing on the Rockefeller Tree Lighting Special on NBC, where they will perform a Christmas song from their new Greatest Hits Volume 1 CD. As always, you can get all the latest news on Rascal Flatts at rascalflats.com. And a big thanks to all the guys, Gary LaVox, Joe Don Rooney, Jay DeMarcus, rewriting one of their big hits for us to open up our telecast, and can't thank them enough. Handoff to Eason. He's got some room, and he'll get out of bounds as well, and a flag comes in. Well, we got a second. I want to thank the guys at Brooks and Dunn as well, and Daughtry. They've really helped us the last few years with our opens to our SEC football telecast. Of course, all three of those between Rascal Flatts, Daughtry, and Brooks and Dunn, all award winners, big-time stars.
Holding, number 43 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
And by the way, last week in Nashville, Kix Brooks didn't know it, but we had dinner with him at Valentino's in Nashville.
You were in the same room?
He didn't know it, but we had dinner together. Go to Yahoo Sports to see over 50 Raycom Sports SEC football and basketball games for only $4.95 a month. You can hear thousands of audio broadcasts. Be sure and follow your team all season long at Yahoo Sports. First down and 5 now for the Rebels. Here's Eason. Pick up 4 of that 5. Kyle Love and Cortez McCraney bring him down. You know, this was just a disaster waiting to happen for Mississippi State, because they fell behind early and then they couldn't get their running game going, and now Ole Miss just sitting back defensively. They've had their way here in the first half, which has helped force Mississippi State to punt it 4 or 5 times.
Well, credit Ole Miss to come out and be aggressive offensively, get on the board early. They got the McCluster long touchdown run to start things off, and really it snowballed for Mississippi State defensively from that point on. But they've really settled down defensively, Mississippi State has. They just can't get anything going offensively to get themselves back in the football game.
First down.
So that'll be a first down coming up with 1:08, 1:07. Clock moves as the chains are set. And I think Houston Nutt just happy probably to get to the locker room when you lead by 24. Maybe one more time going up top, looking for Wallace. He will score! 72 yards. So I guess Houston Nutt not content to get to the locker room.
Dave, this is just a one-man route. They only sent one receiver out. Play action fake, 2 backs, 2 tight ends. And Mike Wallace just runs by the safety. Runs right by Charles Mitchell and Zach Smith. A one-man route, a corner route, and a tremendous throw from Jevin Sneed.
3 touchdown passes today for Sneed. How about his numbers in the first half? 10 out of 13. He completed his first 9, 189 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 pick. .42 seconds to play before halftime, and Ole Miss sticks it in for another 6 points, trying to make it 7. Sheen's point after is up and good. 4 touchdowns today and a field goal for this Ole Miss offense. 44 touchdowns on the season this year for Ole Miss, an offense that last season only scored 30.
Dave, let's look at Mike Wallace. He's right here. All he's going to do is run right here and then right by the safeties. It's a one-man route. Nobody else out in the pass route. He runs right between the 2 safeties and right by him.
But it had to be one of those, okay, let's just take one more shot at this, and if not, we'll just go to the locker room. And, well, that one more shot was explosive. You look at the numbers, Arch, in terms of this Ole Miss offense from last year to this year. What a difference. You brought it up. It's all about balance with him.
It really is. They've balanced it up. 180 on the ground, 212 in the air. You see the discrepancy last year. But really, the blend of Houston Nutt and what Kent Austin has been able to bring, that little mix of that Canadian League stuff, the former Ole Miss quarterback, mixing with the mad scientist, if you will, that Houston Nutt is with his wild rebel. To be able to mix those things together, the pass game and then the ingenuity in the run game, has been outstanding for Ole Miss this year.
Boy, what a mix that has been. Houston Nutt and Kent Austin. They didn't even know each other before coming here and hooking up at Ole Miss this season, but they respected each other, obviously, in their offensive minds. But that has been just a brilliant combination. 2 great offensive minds working together this season. Kickoff taken by Robinson. Out to the 35-yard line and driven back. They'll spot it back at the 36. Closed captioning provided by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Buzz perhaps as busy. It's our final game, and Buzz has been as busy as he's ever been since I've been doing this. Let's go back to Buzz.
Trying to get in as many hits as I can for whoever's watching. Hey, just wanted to update you on that Kent Austin connection with Houston Nutt. The conduit there was David Lee, who recruited Kent Austin to play here at Ole Miss. He's also the architect of the Wild Rebel, the Wild Hog, the Wildcat, whatever it is. And we've used the term star during our time. I think Kent Austin is a head coaching star in the making. I'm really impressed with him.
No question about it, Buzz. We've talked about it amongst ourselves, and there are a lot of great offensive minds in this league, and it's been refreshing. It was our first time to deal with him this year, and he's really refreshing to talk offense with. And I understand. I can see why his players have adapted to his style so easily.
Well, he does a great job of teaching. A lot of guys can talk about football, but can they teach that process? And Kent Austin is one of those guys that can put it in layman's terms so his players can understand what's going on and then be able to teach it from an X's and O's standpoint on the field.
He's a guy that he emphasizes, timing and spacing are his 2 words that he uses over and over again.
It's something he got in the Canadian League. Got to spread the field, throw the football. You've got to have people spaced in the proper areas to be able to manipulate defenders to get them to go to where you want them to go and then throw opposite. They've done a nice job of that with this talented core of receivers they here at Ole Miss.
19 seconds to play before halftime. Here's Carroll with throw near side. That pass right through the hands of Jamale Smith. But of course, Kent Austin. It all got started right here. Fought Hemingway Stadium. Not only was he a solid quarterback, record-setting from 81 to 85, and then along came a guy named Eli, who did okay. And then he went to Saskatchewan. Led them to a Grey Cup championship, was named the CFL Coach of the Year in his only year as a head coach.
Yeah, as a player and as a coach, won a Grey Cup, which is the Super Bowl in Canada.
Trying to set up a screen, looking for Stallworth, and nothing doing there. And the Bulldogs will apparently send out their punt team, perhaps. Or maybe just Hail Mary it one final time on 4th down from midfield. We'll see what they want to do here. They'll punt it away. Boy, that man is, he woke up this morning and did not see this one coming.
Now, this has been a series, and you mentioned certainly the last 2 that have really been turned by punt returns by each team late in games to win games in the 4th quarter. Mississippi State last year on a punt return, 2 years ago, Ole Miss.
Marche Green will let that bounce, and that will end the first 30 minutes of football. And That was about as well played by Ole Miss as they could possibly have done. They lead it 31-0 over their rivals from Starkville. Offensively and defensively, it was a show. Let's go downstairs to Dave Baker. Buzz?
Houston, Jevin had that bad shoulder. You didn't know what to expect, but boy, what a first half your team.
He's had an excellent first half and worked hard all week with treatment, but he hadn't thrown, so he was worried about the timing. But, boy, he's thrown some beautiful balls. Besides one bad decision, he's doing real well.
I think you're lying on both sides of the ball, though, really set the tone.
Defense, really, especially. They're doing an excellent job. Offensive line starting to get in its groove, so hopefully we can continue.
Thanks, Houston. We appreciate it. Houston Nutt, in his first deal at the Egg Bowl, goes to the locker room, and his Rebels are throwing a 31-0 shutout against Mississippi State.
SEC football is being brought to you by Advance Auto Parts, by BC Headache Powder, by Ruby Tuesday, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Geico, by Pizza Hut, and by GMC.
All season long, we've been proud to bring you SEC football in high definition where available right here on Raycom Sports. Our last game in the Southeastern Conference right here on Raycom Sports. And one last time, let's go down to Dave Baker for an interview.
Sylvester, tough first half. What was your message to your team at halftime?
I just want to come back out and play it one play at a time and see if we can get back in this thing.
All right, thanks, Sylvester. We appreciate it. A determined Sylvester Croom. We've seen him in this situation before, and he's gotten his team to respond in the second half, Dave. Of course, Mississippi State, they won the toss and deferred, so they'll get the football to start the second half.
They're going to need a lot down 31, and they're going to have to really find a way defensively to slow down Ole Miss. I mean, you can't, go down the field and score and then allow Ole Miss to A, chew up clock, and B, score, whether it's 3 or 6.
Yeah, I agree with you, David. And I think the first part of that mission is to take the football here in the second half and to move the ball systematically down the field. Woody McCorvey is going to have to find a way to get Wesley Carroll an opportunity to get him some time to throw the football, get the ground game going a little bit. But I really think it's going to rely on them throwing the football a little bit. I don't think you can, obviously there's no 31-point play out there, so you got to go one drive at a time. And I think this drive right here imperative for Mississippi State's really mindset for the second half.
Well, Delman Robinson will be back to return the kick. Of course, Derek Pegues, who was chasing down an SEC all-time return yardage number today, left the game with what appeared to be a sprained knee back in the first quarter. So it looks like Robinson will handle most of the return duties the rest of the way. Robinson, the true freshman. This kick will sail down to the 5, and Robinson will take off from there. And hit at the 28, still on his feet. And so the Bulldogs will bring it out for their opening possession of the second half.
Robinson on the return to the 29.
Well, we had one of those devastating injuries right before halftime to Brandon McCray, the receiver for Mississippi State. For more on that, let's go check in with Dave Baker again. Buzz?
Hey, Dave, just talked to Dr. Rusty Litton over here on the state sidelines, and Brandon is just finishing up with getting stabilized here at the hospital in Oxford. It was a compound break of the right tibia. That's the big bone. Now, the best thing to compare it to is the Tyrone Prothro injury, but the thing that Dr. Litton was saying was that this break was higher in the leg. There's more meat around it, which should help the healing process. He's getting stabilized right now and going back to Columbus where they'll do surgery, and we wish nothing but the best for him. But Dr. Litton said that 98% of the time, these things come out with great outcomes, so that's what we're hoping.
All right, Buzz, thank you very much. That pass intended for Aubrey Bell looked like he might have lost it a little bit.
Well, and not really the throw you're looking for if you're Woody McCorvey. You certainly have that entity to take the shot down the field. I think that he was hoping that his quarterback, Wesley Carroll, would throw the ball out into the left flat, had Jamale Smith open, and to try to move the chains. That's got to be the mindset Wesley Carroll has at quarterback.
And the Bulldogs' longest drive in that first half was 14 yards. I think that was a run set up by a run from Anthony Dixon. Here's Robinson with the reception. Lost the football, but I think the Bulldogs came away with it close to the 40, which could be near that first down. Jamale Smith fell on the football.
Boy, another good job of hitting once the ball is in play. Here's the dump off underneath to the young man, and now watch the hits coming. Boy, a lot of hats getting to the football. First guy getting there was Alan Walker. But as you said, Dave, Mississippi State lucky to come away with it.
That's the fourth time the Bulldogs have put it on the turf. Now, they haven't lost any yet, but they have coughed it up 4 times, and luckily for them, they have recovered each one. It was good enough for the first down, so here's Carroll to fire away and overthrows Robinson.
The pressure that Wesley Carroll felt in the first half still in his mind there, as the timing there was off on the comeback route down the right sideline. He had a chance to get that ball in there, but because of the pressure from the first half, he just turned it loose a little bit too early. He's going to have to settle down now. This team is going to have to depend on their young quarterback, the young sophomore, to help direct them back.
Second down and 10. Here comes pressure again. Carroll dropped at the 32. You know, it's for Mississippi State's bad enough that Ole Miss's front four is getting pressure, then throw 1 or 2 more in the mix, and now all kinds of havoc breaks free.
And you're exactly right, Dave. They bring 5 this time, and it's one-on-one. One-on-one up front, just one-on-one blocking, and this time again they turn Lockett completely loose on the play. Parade Jerry gets the tackle, but Sherrod, the left tackle, completely turned Lockett loose on the outside. And boy, they're having a tough time figuring out who's on who in the man blocking scheme up front.
Second sack of the day for Parade Jerry. Mississippi State 1 out of 8 on third downs. Make it 1 out of 9. The ball is free, and they'll blow the play dead back at the 17-yard line. And if that was Jerry again, how about Jerry and Hardy combined for this sack? Parade Jerry, a 3-time defensive lineman of the week, trying to make it 4.
It's not hard to find him. He's at the D tackle spot. Just an outstanding move to the inside. And really nobody contested Parade Jerry on his way to the quarterback.
Coaches weren't kidding when they said, when you ask him about anybody, it always went back to Parade Jerry.
Well, he certainly has today.
McAdams will punt it away to Marche Green. Takes it at midfield. Marche dancing around to the 40, to the 39-yard line. So K.J. Wright in on that special teams tackle for the Bulldogs. And Ole Miss knocking on the door. Their first possession of the second half on the way.
As it celebrates its 75th anniversary, the Sugar Bowl is proud to serve as home away from home for the Southeastern Conference. Almost single-handedly, Ole Miss quarterback Archie Manning spoiled Arkansas's trip to New Orleans for the 1970 Sugar Bowl, as the Rebels pulled the stunning upset of the third-ranked Razorbacks 27-22. Manning racked up 312 yards total offense in the game and was named the game's most outstanding player. Celebrating 75 years of excellence, the Sugar Bowl and the Southeastern Conference.
At a time when others don't, Nissan delivers. 0% financing on many of Nissan's most popular models. Nissan delivers. Attractive lease options on our full line of vehicles. Nissan delivers. A Nissan Altima or Rogue for only $199 a month. Or a brand new Versa for under $10,000. When you need it most, Nissan delivers.
Introducing new Hershey's Chocolate Dunkers from Pizza Hut. Freshly baked treats served with chocolate dunking sauce. Now get them with a sweet meal deal. 2 medium pizzas with breadsticks and dunkers, just $19.99. Loads of food for a sweet price. Delivered only by Pizza Hut.
I can make this dollar bill grow so huge, it'll weigh over 1 pound. Boom! It's huge. Pizzone for only $1.
Save me a bundle.
Right now, get a Pizzone for $1 when you buy any large pizza. Only from Pizza Hut.
Weather pretty nice for a day after Thanksgiving. A little overcast. Temperatures certainly manageable. Slight chance of rain, but we haven't had any yet today. First play for Ole Miss's offense here in the second half. Cordera Eason brought down by Dominique Douglas. Once again, let's go down to Dave Baker. Buzz.
Dave, the news just keeps getting worse on the Mississippi State sidelines. That's Derek McGee's not back to return a kick, but on crutches on the State sidelines. Sprained left knee. Rusty Litton, the team doctor, said that the knee started swelling up. McGee's couldn't extend it, so he's done in what will be his last collegiate football game.
35 career starts, 12 career interceptions, and you mentioned, Dave, his expertise in the return game. Returned a big one in this game last year. Derek McGee's.
That inside handoff goes to Eason. And we had a chance to talk a little bit about it, but Derek McGee has been an electrifying player for Mississippi State since he's really set foot on campus. And you look at the numbers for him in his career as a defensive back, and he was the first blue chip recruit to sign with Sylvester Croom. Could have gone anywhere. Pegues, a guy from just down the road here in Batesville, Mississippi, South Panola High School, and a big-time high school player, but decided to make his mark at Mississippi State. And I think Sylvester Croom and Derek Pegues will always have that connection. Quick throw to the outside, and McCluster makes a nice catch.
Outstanding timing by Jevin Sneed to get the ball to Dexter McCluster. And McCluster has been a factor from a lot of different spots today. Here he is right off the start, out of the Wild Rebel from Bolden. He set the pace in this game, racing 36 yards for the touchdown. And then here's the dump, the little lateral to him, getting up the field. Just a number of ways to get him the football. Now line him up at the eye and toss it to him. And at 5'6" and 170 pounds, soaking wet, he can take a hit too.
Lines up at quarterback, hands it off to Bolden, who gets it inside the 20. We'll see where they spot it at the 17. So that will be a first down for the Rebels. Keith Fitzhugh with the tackle. McCluster's problem in his career has been the fact that he hasn't been able to be on the football field. It has been one injury after the other, and I'm just amazed at how much they use him this season, and he stayed healthy.
Yeah, how much he's handled the football has been amazing, and here he is again in the Wild Rebel.
Houston Nutt ran some tryouts before the season to see who had good ball skills, and McCluster won that. And certainly has taken advantage of it. Dominic Douglas in on that tackle. That's 10 tackles for that senior middle linebacker out of Clinton, Mississippi. Time for another look at the red zone, powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. You look at the Ole Miss offense this year, they are 9th in the league in terms of touchdown percentage. They've put together 27 touchdowns.
Well, the number there, Dave, of 48, being in the red zone 48 times. You look at Ole Miss's, or Mississippi State's number, and they've been in 27, 29 times, something of that number. I mean, tremendous amount of times in the red zone.
2 for 2 inside the red zone today, trying to make it 3 for 3. Look at Wallace dancing around. He's to the 8-yard line. That'll be about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. Jasper O'Quinn in on that tackle. Jasper, the senior.
Whoever gets this Ole Miss team in the bowl game, and it certainly looks like the Cotton Bowl is one of them that's going to look at Ole Miss, they're going to get a dynamic football team on both sides of the ball.
How about a matchup with Ole Miss, Texas Tech in the Cotton Bowl? Would that be a shootout?
That would be something.
3rd down. And we'll say a yard. McCluster trying to get the first down. I think he got it. They will mark it at about the 5.5. So that should move the chains and set up a 1st and goal. Fitzhugh brings him down.
Boy, how many different places does he probe to try to get north and south? Let's see. I'm going to go right here now. I'll go right here. No, I don't like that. I'm going to go out here. And he finally gets the first down.
I just saw there at the end of that play, too. He did a nice job of is he covered the football up right before he got hit. Don't want to cough it up.
And you mentioned those ball skills that Houston Nutt was looking for. Ball security was something that he said Dexter McCluster does a great job of.
Play clock quickly down to 5 seconds. See, they're going to have to call a timeout. Actually, they just reset it. Sneed to throw right through the hands of Shea Hodge, who then got leveled by Keith Fitzhugh.
Boy, a dangerous throw, first of all, and putting your man in a bad spot. Snead's going to try to stick this to Shea Hodge in the middle, and Fitzhugh is waiting for him, a guy that just loves to level or lower the boom. And boy, he took a big shot, and that's one in this era of football that could have drawn a flag probably.
Cluster in at quarterback, working the right side, trying to sneak into the corner. I don't think he made it. The pylon fell down, but I think they'll spot this about the 1, just inside the 1.
Again, the wild rebel going to fake Bolden the ball, and then Bolden becomes the blocker out in front here. And what an effort by McCluster to try to extend the ball to the pylon. And a good job of Mississippi State getting him out of bounds. Looked like Fitzhugh.
Yeah, Fitzhugh laying out at the pylon.
Fitzhugh had 12 tackles. Has had 12 tackles against Ole Miss in his career.
Enrique Davis gets stuffed at the line. Jasper O'Quinn steps up.
He stopped short at the goal line. The tackle number 23, Jasper O'Quinn.
A lot of pride on the line for the Bulldogs right here, trying to keep Ole Miss out of the end zone. Good job of scraping off blocks as Jasper O'Quinn, the corner, makes the play, and Ole Miss will go here on 4th down.
So 4th and goal from the 1. Davis in at tailback. In motion is Hartman. Snead will throw it. Pass is caught. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Bradley Sowell.
You know, we talked to Houston Nutt before the game, and Houston talked about the fact that, you know, we might get one of the big eaters. This is a guy that plays tackle. They put in at tight end, Bradley Sowell. And he catches the touchdown. He said, we got a little wrinkle. We're going to get one of the big eaters a touchdown. And he got it right there.
So Sowell sneaks on the field and picks up the TD. 4th touchdown pass today for Jevon Snead. Not been a good day for that man. Back in a moment. Today's game is brought to you by Alltel, the official wireless partner of fans. Time for our Texas Pete scoring drive that made it 38-0. And, well, Ole Miss didn't have to go very far. 39 yards, 11 plays. Sowell with the 1-yard touchdown reception. Just a freshman. We could be seeing him quite a bit at tight end in the future. Houston Nutt was excited about the way he has picked up the spot. Kick bounces at the 20. On the run is Stallworth out over the 35 to the 37-yard line.
Number 30, Arnell Stallworth on the return for Mississippi State.
Time for our Nissan Heisman in the SEC, and for that we go back to 1996. Danny Werfel, 3,625 yards, 39 touchdowns, led his Gators to a national championship, had an efficiency rating of 178.4, which was a national record. I mean, the guy, Archie and I were talking about, it didn't look like he would throw the ball through you, but he was always on target.
On time, too. He was always on time, had great protection, and his receiver corps very similar to what Jevon Snead has around him.
Tyson Lee back in at quarterback, and he is pretty much deja vu. Just how the game started for Tyson. Jarrell Poe.
Jarrell Poe there, 350 plus, but they've been all over the quarterback today. It's been pressure, and then when they did get the ball off, athletic play. But it's been about the quarterback not being able to set his feet and make any kind of throw at all. It's been all about the front four for Ole Miss. Well, when you can't set your feet and throw the football, there's not a whole bunch you can do.
Lee in that pocket will throw on the run. This time pass is caught. Eric Riley makes the grab, his 11th reception of the year.
Eric Riley is a guy that does a good job working the slot. He's a big receiver, finds the hole. You see him sit it down for his quarterback, and Tyson Lee does a nice job of sliding up the pocket and finding it.
Boy, look at the rushing yards, Arch. Minus 20. Now, of course, you got to factor in the sacks in that for Mississippi State, but still. And a flag comes in. There'll be a hold in there against Anthony Dixon. Tyson Lee will just fall down at the 45-yard line, but Dixon just grabbed onto a blue jersey and wouldn't let go.
Fully marker on the play.
Yeah, I think Anthony Dixon gets isolated on one of the big defensive linemen from Ole Miss. And he really saved his quarterback. He just grabbed him.
Holding, number 24 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. The deep first down.
Actually just working against Trahan, the linebacker. And Trahan gets on the shoulder, the edge of the shoulder, and gets upfield on the rush. And Anthony Dixon just wraps his hands around him. A poor job technique-wise. Let his feet go dead there in the protection. Try to keep your feet alive, hit him down through the middle. Trahan was able to get to his shoulder and get upfield.
That'll back the Bulldogs up to the 39 and make it 1st and 20. Four-man front. Here comes a couple of blitzers. And causing Lee to throw it incomplete. The announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Raycom Sports. This broadcast is a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Southeastern Conference and Raycom Sports is prohibited.
Well, even when there's really not a lot of pressure around his feet, the Mississippi State quarterback just can't set his feet and throw it. They've been harassed enough today to where suddenly this rush is in their head. And that time, Tyson Lee had enough time to set his feet and just didn't do it.
Tyson Lee dropped by Greg Hardy back at the 25-yard line, and Hardy was in there in a flash. This is a guy that has only played 7 games this year because of injury.
Well, again, no reason for Tyson Lee to run out. He saw pressure flash to his left, and he skates out of the pocket. It was no designed sprint out at all, and he just ran right into Hardy. That's the 7th sack on the day.
Golly.
But again, it was just pressure off the left side that Anthony Dixon had slid over to take care of. But these quarterbacks are so skittish now, they won't stay in there.
It's 3rd and 33. I can't say enough about this front four of Ole Miss today. Pressure again, flushes Lee out of the pocket. They'll dump it down to Stallworth out to the 38-yard line. That is, good 17 yards shy of the first down. But Greg Hardy back on the field, and when he is on, there are few better in the country than this young man. And against Florida, had a huge game. And when Ole Miss went down to Gainesville and shocked the Gators, it got Hardy a chance to get on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And that game did more for both teams than I think a lot of people expected. Look what Florida's done since then. And apparently Ole Miss also realized, hey, we're a pretty good team as well. Marche Green takes it at the 22-yard line. Out to the 30-yard line. So the Rebels will have the football again. They lead is big at 38-0. Their largest victory in this was 48-0 back in '71. Back after a word from your local stations. Closed captioning is provided by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. That's got to be chicken. Most people went with the chicken. That's just a really big chicken and not a turkey. Must be the Chick-fil-A chicken in there. Jarrell Poe getting some camera time on the sideline as quick snap goes to Enrique Davis. That'll bring up a 2nd down as clock moves to 3:15. Well, we got a second. This is our final game on Raycom Sports after 17 glorious years, 10 for me, a couple for you. And I just want to say on a personal note, for our producer, Rob Reichley, who's been here for 15 years, there is nobody in the business I would rather go to work with than Rob Reichley. And as we wrap it up, I just want to make sure that the people understand that the guy that makes this all happen every week for us is a man sitting in the truck. And I know we all appreciate him on this crew.
Here, good call.
That pass caught by Mike Wallace. Close to the first down, out at the 42-yard line. This Ole Miss team, I'm telling you what, we've seen a lot of football this year, Arch. And, you know, I don't know if it's as much Mississippi State just not being in sync today or if it's Ole Miss just being really good. But this is an impressive display.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both those things you just said. But it's more about what Ole Miss has been able to do under Houston Nutt and their combination of putting players in different spots. They've changed offensive lineman positions, slid them from tackle to guard, but they found a great mix and a blend, and boy, does it really work for them.
Good running by Davis, close to midfield. Actually, they'll spot him back at the 48. Be sure to log on to SECRoadTripPlanner.com and find the quickest routes and all the information you need for traveling around the SEC, provided by Regions Bank. I think after 15 years of me traveling around doing football, basketball, and baseball, I can pretty much just call me. I'll get you where you need to go. Don't forget our Outback SEC Championship Saturday show coming your way at noon Eastern from the Georgia World Congress Center next Saturday. First down run by Davis, the true freshman out of Lynn Haven, Florida, brought down by K.J. Wright.
This is just that big offensive line on the right side. You're talking about getting in behind John Jerry at 350, the Maurice Miller at 343. Those two big fellas coming off and creating a crease in there. Let's go down to Dave Baker.
Hey, Arch, following up on Dave's line about the Houston Nutt, you look at what he's done. Ken Austin called him a coalition builder, and then when we were talking to Tyrone Nix, he said the great thing about Houston was he came in and he sat all these guys down in the room and he said, listen, we've been in the SEC, we've got guys on the staff that have been in the NFL. If you buy into what we're doing, you'll have a chance to do something special. And I think that buy-in started early on. I think it maybe got over the top with the Florida win, like you said, Dave. And then I think now we're seeing the real culmination of it today.
Well, Buzz, the thing that's scary about this team is there's a lot of these guys are coming back. I mean, you're going to lose Mike Wallace and Michael Orr, the left tackle, but everybody else is coming back.
That play slammed to the ground. Lionel Bro brought down for a loss of about 4 by Tim Bailey, a senior out of Glen Allen, Mississippi.
He's faking the lead play inside. And Mississippi State has done a nice job since really the first quarter. They got down 24-0, but they've played pretty solid defense, but they've had their back against the wall because they can't get anything on the offensive side. So the defense has really had to play the bulk of the game.
I think Ole Miss will just let this clock run out to complete the third quarter. They pick up a touchdown to add to their lead. And one more quarter to go in the 105th edition of the Battle of the Golden Egg. This series started back in 1901. And today it's been all Ole Miss. Their defense is throwing up a goose egg. Back in a moment. Ole Miss looking for their 5th consecutive win. The most consecutive wins since that 03 club went 10-3 on the season. Leading right now as we begin the fourth quarter, 38-0.
Team that scores 30 points or more is 5-0 this season. So well on their way to that 6-0 mark.
Snead hit as he throws. Pressure came. Damon Glanton came flying in there to hit Snead, and Snead bothered by that shoulder injury. See how he's doing. Looks to be okay, but look at our Raycom Sports stats through 3 quarters, and look at the rushing yards now. Minus 34. 385 to 41, Arch, in total offense.
That's like you said, Dave. You factor in the sacks. 7 sacks today for the Ole Miss defense, and that factors into that rush number.
So on 4th and 10, Rob Park will punt it away. Robinson stands back at the 10-yard line. Good coverage kick, and Robinson calls for the fair catch at the 12. So Mississippi State backed up all the way back inside their own 15-yard line. They'll have the football when we come back. SEC football is brought to you in part by Chevrolet. 38-0, and Mississippi State will go to the redshirt freshman Chris Ralph. Ralph has thrown only one pass this season. It was incomplete, and he just got welcomed to the game by Jamarcus Sanford.
And we've got some fans that are above us or around us that are throwing cotton balls out the window and drifting to the ground.
We hope it's cotton.
Ralph takes a monster shot from Jamarcus Sanford, the safety. Welcome to the SEC, young man.
He is a big boy at 6'3", 230 out of Montgomery, Alabama. Coaches believe that he's a guy that they can build around. As you look at our 1st and 10 line, brought to you by ICB Construction Management, located in Choctaw, Mississippi. Four-man rush, and whistles will stop the play.
False before the snap, false start, number 79 on the offense, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
It's been a nightmare day for Derek Sherrod trying to rock out of that offensive tackle spot. He's got another fire breather lined up over him trying to get after his quarterback.
2nd and 15.
2nd down and 15 now. Four-man rush. Ralph gets the pass off. Boy, Dixon so agile. Takes a shot there, but you watch the big man move around. Remember, folks, it's hard to believe. He's 240 pounds moving around like that.
Well, I talked about he's a complete back. He's a guy that'll punish you to the inside. Now, he's had some tough time running. This was one of the runs he was able to get a crease, but he can get to the outside as well. He's got the speed to skate outside. He's an outstanding pass receiver out of the backfield. He had actually 101 yards receiving last year. Here's some of the ability. Got good hands and has a good idea how to get up the field. Now, Jamarcus Sanford finishes this off, but he is a talented player that can do everything at the running back spot.
3rd down and 12. Ralph fires high, batted in the air. It's incomplete. That will bring up 4th down. And Dixon slow to get up back in that end zone. They asked him to do so much, and earlier this week, actually earlier this season, you know, Sylvester Croom sat down his tailback and kind of told him what some scouts have been saying. If you want to play at the next level, there are certain things you got to do. And I think Anthony Dixon has a tendency to forget that this head coach was one of the most respected running back coaches in the league before he got the job at Mississippi State.
And this is one of the films that the pros will look at. He's had to pass protect all day against this blitz of Ole Miss.
Another punt by McAdams. Marche Green takes it at the 45. He's got some running room. And we'll get it into Bulldog territory at the 43-yard line. How about this stat? Last time Ole Miss held an opponent to minus rushing yards was way back in 1999 when they held Memphis to -8.
On the tackle, number 10, Dominic Douglas. Number 97, Jimmy Holmes.
Ole Miss leading Mississippi State 38-0, 13:31 to play. And with that, that'll be the day for Jevin Sneed, and an excellent day it was. 14 out of 19, 4 TDs, 213 yards, and he completed his first 9 passes of the afternoon. He will give way to Billy Tapp, the junior out of St. Petersburg, Florida, 6'4", 230 pounds. His first play, a handoff to Brandon Bolden, the true freshman out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Gets swallowed up by Dominic Douglas.
And on stop, number 10, Dominic Douglas.
Can't say enough about what Douglas has done in this situation. He has stepped up big. Now 112 tackles on the season.
Well, Dominic Douglas is a guy that they earmarked to play that weak side outside linebacker spot. And with the injury to Jamar Chaney, took one for the team, slid to the inside, and he has really been a stalwart in the middle, and he's had a lot of action today.
Tapp will fire. Pass caught by Hodge, breaks a tackle and gets hammered out of bounds at the 25. First down for Ole Miss.
Well, Billy Tapp is 2 for 2 on the year. He'd only thrown 1 pass this season, 1 for 6 yards, but here another great protection situation for a quarterback, and then wow, how about the lick? Michael Orr and Justin Smith going head-to-head, and Orr has controlled that battle.
Bolden, big hole, still on his feet at the 10, the 5, touchdown Ole Miss. And a flag comes in late. Orr and Smith battling again after the play, but the touchdown will stick, and you're looking at the future of Ole Miss running with Brandon Bolden, Enrique Davis, Devin Thomas, all true freshmen. Eason's still got another year left.
Well, and he gets a key block from his junior fullback, Andy Hartman.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 74 on the offense. The touchdown is good. The penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Well, we saw the battle, and there's the block. Great, he runs right through the tackle there, but a good block from Andy Hartman on linebacker Dominic Douglas. Here's the battle. We saw it earlier, and this continued well past the play. Bolden now is in the end zone. And then we didn't quite get to the extracurriculars. They were just getting ready to start between Orr and Smith.
Went after up and good, and the cotton continues to sail around this stadium. They're thinking Cotton Bowl here in Oxford, 45-0. Well, the largest margin of victory in the series. Mississippi State won a game in 1915, 65-0. Now, Ole Miss's largest margin of victory was a 48-0 win. And they are knocking on the door here at 45-zip with plenty of time left. 12-18 in the fourth. This has been a shocking afternoon of football. We have seen some huge hits, too, boy. Robinson hit by Patrick Trahan, the junior out of Baton Rouge, who started his career at SEC career over at Auburn before transferring over.
This is his second big hit on special teams. Had one on punt return as well.
Go to raycomsports.com for a variety of SEC football highlights. Maybe that hit, for instance, will be there, and features archived video, sweepstakes, podcast, and information on our SEC game of the week. Raycomsports.com, your link on the web. Well, Chris Ralph back in at quarterback. The redshirt freshman out of Montgomery, Alabama. Will hand it off to Stallworth, and, well, the negative yardage continues, and Patrick Trahan makes the play.
Well, you can talk about controlling the line of scrimmage, but this has been an unbelievable display of playing sideline to sideline and taking control of the line of scrimmage. And we're talking about Ole Miss now has inserted some of their number 2 guys on the defensive front. Trahan, one of those backup linebackers, and they just continue. They have not missed a beat.
See, if you talk to the Ole Miss coaches, they'll tell you, even though that Parade Jerry may be on the sidelines, it all starts with him. Here's Ralph. He will run it and take it to the 45-yard line. Get about 5 on the play. Grunfeld makes the tackle.
How about the Hogs getting after the Tigers in Little Rock, 14-3.
There's Tyrone Nix, by the way, the defensive coordinator. Tyrone at South Carolina last year came over here, and he has done a marvelous job. They've held the Mississippi State team to minus 33 yards rushing. Look at our Academy Sports down and distance marker telling you it's 3rd and 8. Pressure again. Ralph sees it and runs. Hardy dives, can't make the play, and Ralph will pick up the first down. And a flag comes in late.
The tackle, number 8, Marche Green, has a penalty flag on the play.
Couldn't tell if this was a post-play foul, which would give Mississippi State the first down.
Here comes Steve Shaw.
The play resulted in a first down. After the play, personal foul, number 30 on the offense. That'll be a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, this is just pressure. Rolf's going to take off, and he's going to outrun Greg Hardy for the first down. He lays out. The big fella gets the first down, avoids Hardy there. And here's the penalty. It's Stallworth, number 30. He's going to hit Johnny Brown right on the back of the head.
You know, here's those two probably been jawing each other all game, and you know, I guess you want to keep it under control.
Yeah, that seemed like a little personal deal those two guys had going.
Batted in the air, nearly picked off. Looking for Nelson Hurst, the tight end. Well, there's a look at Chris Relf, who was, we briefly mentioned it. The coaching staff likes to talk about him as a guy that can really build something around.
Well, I asked Woody McCorvey about, you know, where are you with your quarterback? They've had guys banged up. Tyson Lee has played, obviously Wesley Carroll, but they feel like Chris Relf is the guy, once he gets some experience under his belt, that this is going to be a guy that's going to be a big-time player in the SEC. His guy can run it. He's got a tremendous arm. They feel like at some point now in this guy's career, they're going to be able to turn the offense over to Chris Relf and be the guy.
Well, he ran the wing T in high school, so he's still adapting to this West Coast offense of Woody McCorvey, which is not exactly an easy offense to learn, I would think, especially if you haven't played a lot in the passing game.
Right. It's a pro-style offense where you're going to move the quarterback around a little bit. Threw for about 1,500 yards at Carver High School, which you mentioned, Dave, was a running-type program. But they feel like the sky's the limit for this kid. But again, you're talking about a raw player that just hadn't played very much.
And he is dropped back at the 35-yard line by Emmanuel Stevens. That is sack number 8.
Well, this is going to go down as one of the all-time great defensive efforts in Ole Miss history. Certainly getting after the passer and limiting rushing yardage. Again, Emmanuel Stevens just wins one-on-one. And again, I'm not sure what Derek Sherrod is doing. He hasn't blocked anybody on the inside of the ball.
Lockett with a sack. Parade Jerry with 2.5 sacks. Poe with a sack. Hardy with a sack and a half. Stevens with a sack. Cornell with a sack. Here's Marche Green dancing out to the 39-yard line.
A 39-yard punt on the play.
Time for our Chick-fil-A nugget of the game. Now, the Battle of the Golden Egg has been played in 7 different cities. That would have been a good trivia question. One of those, Clarksdale over in the Delta. My in-laws beat Margaret Johnson. That makes that. Wonder if they were at that game.
Yeah, they host that in the backyard?
I don't know. Starkville, Oxford, Jackson, Tupelo in the mix there. Greenwood.
Well, it's a game that's too big for one city. You got to spread it around.
On the carry for the Ole Miss Rebels with number 30,
Derek Davis gets the carry for those at home, scoring at home. One of the reasons this game is called the Battle of the Golden Egg was 1926, had a huge brawl after the game in 26. Chairs were broken. It was just a nightmare. And, well, the Sigma Iota group down at Mississippi State wanted to figure out a way to kind of lighten the mood, and they decided to make a trophy, make it an event. And they came up with a football trophy that looked like an egg, and thus was the beginning of the Battle of the Golden Egg Trophy back in 1927.
Billy Tapp's pass is incomplete, intended for number 19,
Andrew Harris can't hold on to it.
3rd and 5.
And Billy Tapp has finally thrown an incompletion. That's his first.
Boy, his career's headed downhill. Came in 1 out of 1 for 6 yards.
Completed his first today and then throws an incompletion there. Not really a nice job on the boot. Made a good throw. Ball was just dropped.
So 3rd down and 5. Here's Tapp will fire. Long throw. Incomplete. That'll bring up 4th down.
Billy Tapp's pass intended for number 21.
Well, we've got another few seconds here when a Say a special thanks, I think, from all of us at Raycom Sports to our illustrious executive producer, Jimmy Rayburn, who has been with this SEC football package since its inception. And it was Jefferson Pilot and then Lincoln Financial, now Raycom. And without him and his leadership, none of us would have the opportunity to watch SEC football each and every Saturday in the fall. And I think from all of us at Raycom, let me say a big special thank you to Jimmy Rayburn for allowing us the opportunity to do this. Punt taken by Robinson, and he is dropped on the spot. Geico is canvassing the country this year to get the fans' input on all the best moments of the 2008 football season. For tour updates, tour schedules, and your chance to take the Geico Best of 2008 fan poll, check out bestofcollegesports.com.
Well, Dave, while we're throwing out some thank yous, I want to thank all the sports information departments across the SEC that help us do our job. Obviously, Langston Rogers here at Ole Miss, Mike Nemeth at Mississippi State, and what they do, their entire staff, they provide us a ton of information each and every week. Get it to us in a timely fashion, provide us an opportunity to do our job, and we really appreciate everybody across the SEC because they're really the best in the country at doing what they do, providing the sports information and getting us locked in each and every week.
We certainly second that emotion, and it's great to see the commissioner, Mike Slive, here today. His wife, Liz Slive, daughter Anna, all making the trip here to Oxford, Mississippi. Hopefully it won't be a goodbye, just a little hiccup.
Just a pause.
Right. Buzz has been working hard. I think Buzz will get a job after today. He's worked really hard. If anybody's watching, Ralph is dropped for the 9th Ole Miss sack today. Jarrell Poe and Hardy pick up the sack. I think they'll give that, I'll give each a half a sack. We're in a kind of a giving mood.
Now Poe wins the inside immediately. Good job by Hardy. Hardy cut off Ralph's ability to get outside, and then Poe gets in. And boy, this has been a nightmare day for Sylvester Croom, and he can't like the fact that his offensive line just has not showed up today. They have not played it very well at all. And you just cannot operate if you can't block some people up front. They haven't blocked Ole Miss all day.
Second down and 17. Ralph, wobbly pass, should be picked off right through the hands of Kendrick Lewis. You know, this is one of those things, too, that this is just going to be a tough thing for Mississippi State players to deal with. This is what you got to think about until next season. And maybe it'll be the driving force, Arch, that kind of gets you going, gets that motor going when this season's over today. Maybe, you know, you get back in the weight room and the film room and you get working on a 2009 campaign.
It'll really test Sylvester Croom and his staff to use this as motivation. We heard Urban Meyer talk all year about how he used the last couple of games of the season, certainly the Michigan loss in the bowl game, to motivate his football team, certainly on the defensive side. Be interesting to see what Sylvester Croom does with this game and this season to get this crew ready to play for next year.
Incomplete pass, looking for Eric Riley. And that'll bring up a 4th down and 17. Here comes the punt team.
Now, you talk about some of we talked about the injuries, but I don't think you can discount some of the leadership that Sylvester Croom lost off this Mississippi State team. When you talk about Avery Hannibal, the defensive end, Titus Brown, the defensive end, 2 pass rushers that could get after the pass, they certainly have created problems for their defense to be inconsistent.
Here's Marshae Green. Out over the 45 to the 46-yard line. Well, there have been some big wins this year for Ole Miss. 2 signature wins. The first in Gainesville against the 4th-ranked Gators in late September. Ole Miss got a 7-point lead when Jevin Sneed hit Shea Hodge for the touchdown, but then after Florida scored, the tying extra point was blocked by Kentrell Lockett. And Florida got the ball back, but on 4th and 1, Ole Miss came up with a huge stop, and the Rebels walked away with a 31-30 upset. Then last Saturday in Baton Rouge, Ole Miss held the Tigers to 37 yards of rushing, while Jevin Sneed connected with Mike Wallace for 2 touchdowns as Ole Miss won that one 31-13. How about those are impressive wins. How about this, Arch? You got to go back to 1941 and Army to find a team that beat the back-to-back national champions like Ole Miss did today. I've been searching, and I haven't got an answer. I've got all kinds of people trying to find this for me, but I wonder when the last time a team went on the road like Ole Miss did to beat LSU in Florida, your back-to-back national champions. When was the last time somebody did that?
We've challenged somebody's staff to go find that.
I've got my mother-in-law, Margaret, on it. Kept her occupied all week. My crack research staff department.
Well, we were on hand for Ole Miss's victory over the Gators, and it was not just a mistake that happened. Ole Miss controlled the line of scrimmage in that football game and really did a nice job of taking Florida out of what we've seen them do over the last several weeks, and that's control the football and explosive plays. They did not allow any of that in that football game, and then came up with the big plays at the end, the blocked extra point, and of course the fourth down play to stop Tim Tebow.
And as I said before, it really propelled both teams in the right direction. Florida just got on a roll. They've just been pounding people since then. There goes Derek Davis. He'll pick up the first down as the clock hits 4:41. Well, Arch, I'll tell you this. It's been a lot of fun working with you the last couple of years. And for a lot of people who don't know, when we have a split telecast, we have two games on the same day. Your first game with us was back in 2002. Happened to be the Bluegrass Miracle. Been downhill ever since, hasn't it? Good way to open up the SEC coverage for you.
Yeah, what a great day that was. Certainly was a great day for LSU fans. It was certainly a great day for me to be on the scene for that one. And Jared Lorenzen throwing 4 touchdown passes. Ultimately, we lose to LSU. But it's been a great opportunity for me. I really appreciate this opportunity to be here. You're the best. Anybody that has listened to SEC football over the last 10 years have gotten a chance to wake up in the morning, get their coffee, and their first SEC game is this one, and they get a chance to hear the voice of Dave Neal, and you've done an outstanding job.
Thank you. That's kind of a scary thought to wake up, and the first thing you see is me. And then this year we throw it in high def, which is really scary, and it's been great. This guy over here to my right, he and I play golf together, so I know we'll see each other quite a bit down the road, and you still got to give me a shot. But while we're on that topic, how about Dave Baker today? Working hard, last game. But I say that facetiously, but we've been blessed to have Buzz with us on the sidelines, and what a job he does getting information. You should see, everybody enjoys working with Buzz. You watch him down here with the coaches. All the coaches love him. They know him. They certainly give him a lot of great information. That's because of the respect that he's deserved and earned over the time that he's been with us.
You're very kind to say that, my friend. It's Arch goes through this more than we do, but you hear about guys playing, and when you stop, it's not being around the team every day. And we've got our own team, and you've mentioned a number of the folks, and I mean, just great people. Our families have grown up together, and life changes happen, and it's all revolved around great places to come and watch great football like this each and every week, and we appreciate you bringing us along for the ride. I will say, you were talking about that Bluegrass Miracle thing. I was very pleased that I was able to chase down Nick Saban at the other end of the field.
One of your great moments.
Thank you.
Good hustle.
Running downhill.
Well, SEC football brought to you in part by Nissan and your local Nissan dealers. Thanks to Nissan for being a part of our broadcast every Saturday as well. That fumble recovery by Chris Nance as Marquise Summers coughed it up, but here comes Mississippi State with a chance to try to get in scoring territory. I know that even if it's 3 points, they'll take them. Going deep. Incomplete. Looking for Eric Riley.
And even on that play, Poe blew up the center on the snap, and Ralph barely got the snap in time to set up and throw it to Eric Riley down the sideline. So it's just been utter domination up front.
Well, Ole Miss has been very good today inside the red zone. They have been effective, and that's really where you've got to be strong down the stretch. You hear so many coaches talk about it. That's one aspect that they've been good today. Here's Ralph. That is sack number 10, and Patrick Trahan will get credit for that one.
Boy, Tyrone Nix has not pulled any punches today on defense. Here they are blitzing with 2 minutes to go in the game. And
Greg Hardy with a big game as well. But
you mentioned Ole Miss and their ability
to score in the red zone.
The red zone.
Time for us to look at a Honda Red Zone, powered by Honda Generators for the ultimate tailgating experience. That's what we've been talking about for Ole Miss today in their offense.
Well, and the reason they are as successful as they are is their ability to run the football down there. If you're limited to just throwing the ball, the field constricts. But your ability to run it, and certainly that wild rebel formation allows them to run the ball down there, makes them extremely effective.
Sack number 11, Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, folks, came into this game with 13 tackles, and 7 of those were behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Hardy's numbers are mind-boggling, Dave. That's his 3rd sack on the day. He's got 8.5 sacks on the season. That gives him 21.5 sacks in 30 games.
Tyrone Nix getting a little...
Boy, he deserved that.
Getting a little bath. 4th and 27.
The only thing left to do for Marche Green is return a punt for a touchdown.
The battle for the Golden Egg, established in 1927. As you look at the names of some of the people that have been a big part of what we do every single Saturday, we travel together like a rock group, meet on the weekends, and spend a couple of days together, and all these people making it happen. And I personally miss each and every person on that list. They have become a big part of my life. They've watched me get married, have a couple of children, screw up numerous times during the game and away from the game. But they are one of a kind. Some great, great characters, including that man right there, Mr. Mark Pollock, who went out in style last night, I might say.
He was strong last night.
Kevin Fay, Tex. We spent a night, Friday night in Nashville, enjoying some good music. A little karaoke. KJ doing a number. All the boys. Thank you so much. JR, fabulous. JR, our grumpy old man.
Little Jack Lemmon there.
Can't see who. There's JR.
There's JR. Where's the patch on your eye?
Ole Miss doing a number to this Mississippi State squad. Total, utter domination as the Rebels blank Mississippi State 45-0 as they reclaim the Golden Egg Trophy after a 3-point nightmare of a defeat a year ago. But Houston Nutt has come to town and put up 8 wins. What a remarkable job for Coach Houston Nutt and this Ole Miss football team. Their eyes set on postseason, perhaps the Cotton Bowl, as they win it 45-0. We will come back, put a wrap on things right here on Raycom Sports. Stay with us.
Ruby Tuesday's handcrafted minis are bold on flavor and big on taste. Beef, turkey, and crab cake minis. Our new mini trio, 25 great burgers with endless fries starting at $5.99. The new Ruby Tuesday, so good it's guaranteed.
I want to play. I don't want to get out. I want that one and that one and that one too. I don't want to go to bed yet.
You haven't been spoiled like this since you were a kid. Unless, of course, you've been here before. Come back to where Old South charm meets New South luxury at the Grand Hotel and Spa on Mobile Bay, Alabama.
Ruby Tuesday's handcrafted minis are bold on flavor and big on taste. Beef, turkey, and crab cake minis. Our new mini trio, 25 great burgers with endless fries starting at $5.99. The new Ruby Tuesday, so good it's guaranteed.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. family to yours. We wish you a very safe and happy holiday season.
Keep your home or business safe and secure with Security Solutions. Serving the Golden Triangle since 1993, Security Solutions has the answers for your security issues, fire and security systems, 24-hour monitoring, door access systems, camera systems, and more, all designed to fit your needs. Security Solutions also installs custom home entertainment systems, and they can remotely locate your stereo components to keep an elegant look in your living room. Security Solutions on Stark Road in Starkville. Call 323-0102.
Ole Miss 45, Mississippi State nothing. Houston Nutt, his first Egg Bowl, goes his way. A dominating performance, and our all-tell players of the game, Dominic Douglas, matches his career high. He had 16 tackles last week against Arkansas and comes back and does it again here. A marvelous day all the way around for the Rebel fans and their players. Back in a moment.